Welcome back, King's Hammer families. I'm Dr. Adam Metzler, orthopedic surgeon at OrthoSensi Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Today in episode 4 of King's Hammer Healthy Habits presented by OrthoSensi, I'm here with Dr. Trevor Wilkes, orthopedic surgeon at OrthoSensi, and today he's going to discuss overuse injuries in our soccer athletes. So Dr. Wilkes, what are the most common overuse injuries that we see in our soccer athletes?
Well, thanks, Dr. Metzler. First of all, I think soccer is a really good sport for injuries as it's a multiplanar, multi-directional sport. We see sometimes less than we do in some of the other repetitive use sports. But that said, when we get the kids that are training 3, 4, or 5 days a week, we see in the younger age groups a lot of the growth plate injuries. In the older age groups, I would say patellar tendon, Achilles, and hip flexor issues are kind of the most common.
So what factors contribute to overuse injuries in soccer athletes?
Well, that's a good question. I tend to try to break them down into controllable and non-controllable factors. Certainly under the controllable factors that we've got the volume of training, which is probably the biggest one. Certainly, sometimes in soccer training, you'll be training a repetitive movement over and over again, a certain way of striking the ball or receiving the ball. So I would say volume, a repetitive movement pattern, oftentimes the volume of competitive games that they're playing. So the games are often more intense than practices, so more competitive games, more overuse injuries.
So what tips do you have for injury prevention in our soccer athletes?
Well, I think the most important thing starts with likely preparation. I think these young athletes, particularly at a club like King's Hammer, they take their soccer really seriously. And so if you're going to commit to that many days a week of training soccer, you probably also need to be doing your stretching, some degree of preparation of your body outside of just training. So I think that's probably number one point. I'd say the second point is the listen to your body point that we talked about earlier, making sure that you don't let something become serious and you treat it early.
Thanks, Dr. Wilkes, for joining us today. You gave us some excellent tips to prevent overuse injuries in our soccer athletes. If you'd like to learn more, please visit the link in our post.
All right, thank you for having me, Dr. Metzler. Appreciate it, and thanks to King's Hammer.